Are we clear? Are we clear? Are we clear? Are we clear? Hi, it's Corey, the world's okayest cloud brother here, and Scott doesn't seem to be available tonight, so I'm starting to do a recording on my own. And I've decided to show you what I do to study. So right above my head is a stopwatch. It's an interval timer. The interval I have it set to is 1 minute. And how the pass how the first pass method works is that you set a timer for whatever time you think you'll need to answer the most basic questions. For AWS Solutions Architect, I think that time is going to be a minute. I think that's going to be plenty. And then when I go through my practice exam, what happens is if you think it's going to be longer than a minute, or you spent more than a minute on the question, then what you do is you flag it for review and then come back to it at the end of the test. And this is a good way to practice because you can, when you get to the actual exam, it helps you manage the time pressure. And usually, if you do this method, you'll pass most exams, AWS or not, on the first try. Hence the title, The First Pass Method. So I'm gonna click on Start Quiz and Start Timer, and there should be a beep coming every minute, but you'll see. So here we go. Oh, I'm clicking on my OBS instead of that. So here we go. Time limit's 2 minutes or 2 hours, 10 minutes. I'm probably not going to take that long, so let's start this timer here. I did it again. You fool. Hold on. All right, here we go. So you see the timer going. It's 57 seconds. So the questions are here on the right. I like to do this when I'm doing tests because I'm weird, I guess. A fintech startup deployed an application on Amazon EC2 instance with attached instance store volumes and an elastic IP address. The server is only accessed from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. and can be stopped from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. for cost efficiency using Lambda with the script that automates this based on tags. Which of the following will occur when the EC2 instance is stopped and started? Select 2. The underlying host for the instance is possibly changed. All data on the instance store devices will be lost. I believe that's true. Wait. No, it stopped and started, so I don't think that's true. The elastic IP address will be disassociated with the instance. Okay, so the timer went off, so I'll flag that for review, and then I'll move on to the next question. So 2. Okay, a solutions architect for a global news company is configuring a fleet of EC2 instances in a subnet that is currently in a VPC with an internet gateway attached. All of these EC2 instances can be accessed from the internet. The architect launches another subnet and deploys an EC2 instance in it. However, the architect is not able to access the EC2 instance from the internet. What are the possible reasons for that? This is one. Stand by. I think I hear company. There we are. Oh, oh, oh! What happened? The world's greatest brother just arrived.
Oh,
Welcome, Scott. You just
oh,
popped in
thank
out
you.
of nowhere. Jump cut.
Of
So
course.
I
Hang
started.
on,
Yep.
hang on.
Go.
I gotta get my excuse out of the way.
What's your excuse?
I thought it was Tuesday
Every day is
because
Tuesday.
because my employer gives us a thing they call a day for me, which is just oh nice,
Ooh. Mm,
which is just a day off, just because.
that's nice.
And because we had a day off on Family Day, they give you the day after. So I
Okay.
had a 4-day weekend, so I thought it was Tuesday today.
Yep. And I worked 3 hours of overtime yesterday at the
Yeah.
office. So
You don't even know. You don't even know what day it is. Anyway,
yeah.
so you're doing the test again. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're just doing tutorials dojo, so we haven't done this one. I just like to do this one together. I finished my Udemy course over the weekend.
Oh,
I,
nice.
I actually made a VPC, like a second VPC rather than the default one with
Oh, yeah, nice.
new subnets and Well, everything you can do with VPC, basically. Yeah,
Okay, so
at the solutions architect level. Anyway,
what's the most important thing about the default VPC?
uh, I have no idea what you mean.
Most important thing about the default VPC is don't use the default VPC.
Oh, well, yeah, that would make sense to me because
Now that makes sense to you. That
yeah,
wouldn't have.
it totally made sense. Like the what the instructor on it, I recall saying is the reason why there is a default VPC is because of someone like me 18 months ago that was brand new to AWS
Yeah,
tried to go on the console to learn and there is no VPC.
yeah.
Learning curve would be way too high, and
Yeah.
everybody would just give up. You know,
I
so
think so too. It's like the open tutorial part of it, and it if you just want to get stuff done and you're just proof of concepting stuff, uh, default VPC is fine. But anything else, make a VPC, especially now because you know how to make it into code and stuff like that.
well, yeah, that was good because I had the background in the CLI and doing it the other way outside of the console, like just
Yep.
making certain things. So it was cool. So how I like all the, but it felt like the when I was making the VPC, it was all gelling together. Where and I'm going,
I
I
know,
see, I
I know,
see.
I know kung fu.
Exactly what I was thinking. I know kung fu. Show me. Okay. So,
Right.
what I've been working on, I had 2 hours and 10 minutes, but while we are getting set up there, we burned a little bit of time. So I now
Yeah.
have a hour and 49 minutes, but I want to make this recording an hour. If we go past that time, I'm we'll just cut out and see how we did.
Yeah.
So,
Got it.
as I mentioned to you when we were getting set up, when you arrived, I'm trying the first pass method, which is the 60-second timer, which is up at the top there. So I'm going to start that, and we'll just get started on question one. I had flagged it for review, but I'm just going to go back over it so you can see it too. And thanks to Tutorials Dojo for this. I have it trimmed just so it looks better for the stream.
That looks great. I
Thank
could
you.
read this easier.
Okay, so we're here on question number one. FinTech startup deployed an application on Amazon EC2 instance with attached instance store volumes and an elastic IP address. The server is only accessed from 8 till 6 and can be stopped from 6 till 8 for cost efficiency using Lambda with a script that automates based on tags. Which of the following will occur when the EC2 instance is stopped and started? Select two. I would say, well, maybe that one. The host might be changed. Well, it can't be this one.
Am I, help, am I helping you on this?
Yeah.
And you didn't do your thing where you select them all and then deselect.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to move on because the timer went off.
Oh, okay.
Beep. So flag for review. Move on. Just because we're doing the first pass method.
Got it.
Solutions, because it's a long question, right, with multiple
Yeah,
answers. So you might want to spend more time thinking about it. Solutions architect, and that's a good point, by the way, because I like doing this. Uh,
yeah.
a solutions
Works
architect
well.
for a global news company is configuring a fleet of EC2 instances in a subnet that's currently in a VPC with an internet gateway. All of these EC2 instances can be accessed from the internet. The architect launches another subnet and deploys an EC2 instance in it. However, the architect is not able to access these two instances from the internet. What could be the possible reasons? Route tables not configured properly? Possible. The EC2 instance does not have an elastic fabric adapter. That wouldn't be it. The route table is not configured properly. To the custom, no, because that has to do with hybrid architecture. The Amazon EC2 instance does not have a public IP associated with it. It could be. I'm going to flag that and come back to it later. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to flag it, go to the next one. A company is hosting that are on non-production and are processing non-priority batch loads that can be interrupted at any time.
Well, you clear your timer now?
I guess so. That's a good idea. Yeah, sure. And then start it. Uh, I never thought to do that. A good thing you're here. A company needs to use Amazon Aurora as the Amazon RDS database engine of their web application. The solutions architect has been instructed to implement a 90-day backup retention policy. Which of the following options can satisfy the given requirement? Configure an automated backup and set the backup retention to 90 days. Create a scheduled event using CloudWatch events and AWS Lambda to directly download the RDS automated snapshot to an S3 bucket. Archive snapshots older than 90 days of Glacier. Create a backup plan, AWS backup plan to take daily snapshots with retention period of 90 days. Configure RDS to export the automated snapshot automatically to Amazon S3 and create a lifecycle policy to delete the object after 90 days. What do you think?
I don't really know on this one. There's things I don't recognize on this. Yeah, like this one too.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll go to question 5. A new online banking platform has been redesigned to have a microservices architecture in which complex applications are decomposed into smaller independent services. The new platform is using Docker, considering the application containers are optimal for running small decoupled services. The new solution should remove the need to provision and manage servers, let you specify and pay for resources per application, and improve security through application isolation by design. Which is the most suitable service to migrate the new platform to AWS? So EKS is Kubernetes service. That's Elastic Block Storage, Elastic File Storage. I think it's this one.
I think it's Fargate too.
Okay, cool. That was well within our time frame. So we'll go to the next one and start reading it early. And an on-premises server is using a SMB network file share to store the application data. The application produces around 50 megabytes of data per day, but it only needs to access some of it for daily processes. To save on storage costs, the company's plans to copy all the data to AWS. However, they want to retain the ability to retrieve the data with the same low latency access as the file share. The company does not have the capacity to develop the needed tool for this operation. Which service should the company use?
I think it's FS. You know this one?
Well, tell me what you think. We still have 30 seconds.
I think it's the file share one. Just because of history, but I'm not. That's just a memory thing. It's not actually thinking what the question
So
says.
the storage, let's see.
The storage gateway is like on-prem,
so you're saying, yeah.
and the 50 megs.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. Because that's what I was thinking. Because I misread the question. I misunderstood it to mean something else. A company has an on-demand EC2 instance located in a subnet in AWS that hosts the web application. The security group attached to this EC2 instance has the following inbound rules: SSH, TCP to port 22 to everywhere. The route table attached to the VPC is shown below. You can establish SSH connection to these two instances from the internet. However, you're not able to connect to the web server using your Chrome browser.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yep. A large telecommunications company needs to run analytics. Oh, hold on.
Timer stopped there.
Yep. Large telecommunications company needs to run analytics against all combined log files from the application load balancer as part of the regulatory requirements. Which of AWS services can be used together to collect logs and easily perform analysis? So that's going to be... That's three. What's Elastic Map reduce?
It's a big data thing.
Yeah.
I think it's the last. I think it's 4 for some reason. Amazon S3 for storing ELB log files and EC2 instance for analyzing the log files with the custom built application.
Oh yeah, okay. Custom built application. That is the key. That's the gravy for that one. A tech company is currently using auto scaling for the web application. A new AMI now needs to be used for launching a fleet of EC2 instances. Which of the following changes need to be done? Uh, hmm.
I think it's a launch configuration. Target group is part of a load balancer. Do nothing doesn't make any sense. Target group. Oh, maybe it is target group and launch configuration because of the new.
I think it's this one.
Uh, yeah. Okay.
That's based on memory from seeing this many
Okay.
many times. But
Yeah.
uh, a company installed sensors to track the number of people who visit the park. That data is sent every day to an Amazon Kinesis stream with default settings for processing, in which a consumer is configured to process the data every other day. You notice that the S3 bucket is not receiving all of the data that is being sent to the Kinesis stream. You check the sensors if they are properly sending data to Amazon Kinesis and verify that the data is indeed sent every day. What could be the reason for this? Um, yeah, that's it. By default, the data records are only accessible for 24 hours from the time they are added to a Kinesis stream. I know this to be
Okay.
true, so I'm moving on.
Okay.
Clear and start. A company has clients all across the globe that access products stored in several S3 buckets, which are behind each of their own CloudFront web distributions. They currently want to deliver their content to a specific client, and they need to make sure that only that client can access the data. Currently, all of their clients can access their S3 buckets directly using an S3 URL or through their CloudFront distribution. The solutions architect must serve the private contact via CloudFront only to secure the distribution of files. Which combination of actions should the architect implement to meet the above requirements? Select two. I believe it's pre-signed URLs. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. Mm,
I always get this one wrong. So if that's what you think, you're probably correct.
yeah, I'm still gonna flag it for review because I want to look at it again.
Yeah. I always get it
But it's
wrong.
pretty close. Uh,
I think it's
so
right, but I always get it wrong. So.
yeah, it's worth it for the first pass method to flag it for review if you're on the
Yeah.
fence. A company deploy when you have less time pressure. A company
Yeah.
deployed a high performance computing cluster that spans multiple EC2 instances across multiple availability zones and processes various wind simulation models. Currently, the solutions architect is experiencing a slowdown in their applications, and upon further investigation, it was discovered that it was due to latency issues, which is the most suitable solution that the solutions architect should implement to provide low latency network performance necessary for tightly coupled node-to-node communication. Um, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You want a cluster placement because it says tightly coupled. Uh,
Also, you want it in a single availability zone as opposed to
as a
multiple
yeah,
availability zones because of the distribution.
correct. Okay, so a company plans to build a web architecture using on-demand EC2 instances and a database in AWS. However, due to budget constraints, the company instructed the solutions architect to choose a database service in which they no longer need to worry about database management tasks such as hardware or software provisioning, setup, configuration, scaling, and backups. Which of the following should the solutions architect implement?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So a large financial uh, firm in the country has an AWS environment that contains several reserved EC2 instances hosting a web app that has been decommissioned last week. To save costs, you need to stop incurring charges for the reserved instances as soon as possible. What cost-effective steps will you take in the circumstance? So it's definitely that one. It's definitely not going shopping on Amazon.com. And this is presumed when you terminate them. And it's go to AWS Reserved Instant Marketplace and sell the reserved instances. I
Yeah.
know I know that. Um,
Yeah.
document
It,
sharing website is using as its cloud infrastructure. Free users can upload a total of 5 gigabytes of data, while premium users can upload as much as 5 terabytes. Their application uploads the user files, which can have a max file size of 1 terabyte to an S3 bucket. In this scenario, What is the best way for an application to upload large files in S3?
Yeah,
It
that's
is multi-part upload. A media company recently launched their newly created web application. Many users tried to visit the website, but they were receiving 503 service unavailable error. The system administrator tracked the EC2 instance status and saw the capacity reaching its maximum limit and unable to process all the requests. To gain insight from the application's data, they need to launch a real-time analytics service. Which of the following allows you to read records in batches? Mm. This I don't remember. Uh, but so try to fix the last part.
I think it's fire hose for some reason.
I believe you're right.
Flag.
Oh
And
wait,
flag
come
it
on,
still.
brain. Real time analytics kinesis. Kinesis. I actually think it's that one, but I'm gonna flag it. Okay, and moving on. A solutions architect needs to set up a bastion host in the cheapest, most secure way. The architect should be the only person that can access it via SSH. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Don't need a large one, and you need it on port 22 for your IP. Correct.
Yep. You're right. I think a company needs to collect gigabytes of data per second from websites and social media feeds to gain insights on its product offerings and continually improve the user experience. To meet this design requirement, you have developed an application hosted on an auto-scaling group of Spot EC2 instances, which processes the data and stores the result to DynamoDB and Redshift. The solution should have a built-in enhanced fan-out feature, which fully managed service can you collect and process large streams of data records in with the least amount of operational overhead.
Yeah, that's just next.
So a company deployed several EC2 instances in a private subnet. The solutions architect needs to ensure the security of all EC2 instances upon checking the inbound rules of the NACL. She saw this configuration all and then deny. Initially, it will be allowed, and then after a while, it will be denied. It will be allowed. It will be allowed. It will be allowed. This, I believe, from the thing I did over the weekend, this overrides all of the things below it.
Correct.
Um, a company is generating confidential data that is saved on their on-premises data center as a backup solution. The company wants to upload their data to an Amazon S3 bucket in compliance with its internal security mandate. The encryption of the data must be done before sending it to Amazon S3. The company must spend time managing and rotating the encryption keys as well as controlling who can access those keys. So I'll flag that one for review. Just reading the answer. A company generates large financial data sets with millions of rows. The solutions architect needs to store all the data in a columnar fashion to reduce the number of disk I/O requests and reduce the amount of data needed to load from the disk. The bank has an existing third-party business intelligence application that will connect to the storage service and then generate daily and monthly financial reports for its clients around the globe. In this scenario, which is the best storage service to use to meet this requirement?
Yeah, so you're gonna click on it already. It's Redshift because of columnar.
Columnar fashion.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so a large financial Linux bastion host to allow access to the Amazon EC2 instance running the VPC for security purposes. Only the clients connecting from the corporate external should have SSH to the host, which is the best option that can meet the customer's requirement. Uh, that one.
Yeah.
Or is it this one? This is just one IP address, and this is a
Correct.
range of these.
I think it's the 0. I think we've.
Yeah, I think it's that one. That's why I'm going to save that. Let me just clear that, restart it. Broke my rule. A company has a global online trading platform in which the users from all over the world regularly upload terabytes of transactional data to a centralized S3 bucket. What AWS feature should you use in your present system to improve throughput and ensure consistently fast data transfer to the S3 bucket regardless of your user's location?
Yeah, that one. Next.
Yes. So an aerospace engineering company recently adopted a hybrid cloud infrastructure with AWS. One of the solutions architect's tasks is to launch a VPC with both public and private subnets for their EC2 instances as well as their database instances. Which of the following statements are true regarding Amazon VPC subnets? The allowed block is 32 IP addresses. Subnets map to a single availability zone. Well, yeah, that's true. Every subnet that you create is automatically associated with the main route table for the VPC. False.
I think it's the.
False. False.
Yeah, correct. That's correct.
Solutions architect is working for a large insurance firm to maintain compliance with HIPAA laws. All data that is backed up or stored in Amazon S3 needs to be encrypted at rest. In the scenario, what is the best method of encryption for the data, assuming S3 is being used for strong financial related data?
That's not Shield.
Yeah, it's not Shield. I think it's that store.
It's
Uh,
also not EBS one.
yeah, I think so. Didn't know.
That's the only thing that makes sense. Like, there's no other options.
Okay. Company has an e-commerce application. Wait, a company has an e-commerce application that saves its transaction logs to an S3 bucket. You're instructed by the CTO to configure the application to keep the transaction logs for 1 month for troubleshooting purposes and afterwards purge the logs. What should you do to accomplish this requirement?
Yeah, correct.
Due to a large volume of query requests, the database performance of an online reporting application significantly slowed down. The solutions architect is trying to convince her client to use Amazon RDS Read Replica for their application instead of setting up multi-AZ deployments. What are two benefits of using Read Replicas over multi-AZ that the architect should point out? Uh, mm, mm, false.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's those. Lastly, scales out beyond the capacity constraints of a single DB instance for read-heavy database workloads and provides asynchronous replication and improves the performance of the primary database by taking read-heavy database workloads from it.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Start that again. A startup has resources deployed on the AWS cloud. It is now going through a set of scheduled audits by an external auditing firm for compliance. Which of the following services available can be utilized to help ensure the right
Yeah.
information is being present? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We all know it's CloudTrail. Settle down. So an investment bank is working with an IT team to handle the launch of the new digital wallet system. The applications will run on multiple EBS back instances, which will store the logs, transactions, and billing statements of the user in an S3 bucket. Due to tight security and compliance requirements, the IT team is exploring options on how to safely store sensitive data on the EBS volumes and S3. Which of the following should be carried out when storing sensitive data on AWS?
You want EBS encryption and the AWS Shield and WAF. WAF is web application firewall, and Shield is denial of service attack thing. So that's what it is.
All right. Solutions architect is managing company's AWS account of approximately 100 IAM users. They have a new company policy that requires changing the associated permission of all users that control the access to Amazon S3 buckets. Which solutions architect, what should they do to avoid time-consuming task of applying a new user to every policy? Or you know what I mean? Create a new IAM role and add each user to the IAM role. Create a new S3 bucket access policy with unlimited access.
Mm.
Create a new policy and apply it to multiple IAM users using a shell script. Create a new group and then add the users to that group that require the access to the S3 buckets. Afterwards, apply the policy to the IAM group.
I think it's the IAM group one.
Yeah, me too. A solutions architect is working for a large IT consulting firm. One of the clients is launching a file sharing web application in AWS, which requires a durable storage service for hosting their static content, such as PDFs, Word documents, high resolution images, and many others. Which type of service should you use to meet this requirement?
Yeah. Next.
A company is using an Amazon VPC that has a CIDR of 1031.0.0/27 that is connected to the on-premises data center. There was a requirement to create a Lambda function that will process massive amounts of cryptocurrency transactions every minute, then store the results to EFS. After setting up the serverless architecture and connecting the Lambda function to the VPC, the solutions architect noticed an increase in invocation errors with EC2 error types such as C2 throttled exception at certain times of day. Which of the following are the possible causes of this issue? False. Maybe your VPC does not have a NAT gateway. False.
False.
That's possible. The IAM execution rule function does not have the necessary permissions to access. Well, it's doing that. It's just intermittent. So I think it's this one and this one.
Yeah. Good.
A data analytics company is setting up an innovative checkout-free grocery store. Their solutions architect, real-time monitoring application, smart sensors collect items in the grocery store refrigerator. It's automatically deducted. The company wants to analyze the items that are frequently being bought, stored as durable storage, to determine the purchase behavior of its customers. What service must be used to easily capture, transform, and load streaming data into Amazon S3, Elasticsearch, and Splunk? It's this one. For sure. Save
Yeah.
next, clear, start.
Okay, next go.
A company has a decoupled application in AWS using EC2, autoscaling S3, and SQS. The solution architect designed the architecture in such a way that these two instances will consume the message from the SQS queue and will automatically scale up or down based on the number of messages in the queue. In this scenario, which of this following statements is false? First in, first out, queues provide exactly once processing, standard queues provide at least once delivery, which is delivered at least one. Standard queues preserve the order of messages.
False.
Amazon SQ can help you distribute application with decoupled
That's
components.
true. That's
Okay, well, this is long, so I'm just going to start. A global online sports betting company has its popular web application hosted in AWS. They are planning to develop a new online portal for their business venture, and they hired you to implement the cloud architecture for a new online portal that will accept bets globally for world sports. You started to design the system with a relational database that runs on a single EC2 instance, which requires a single EBS volume that can support up to 30,000 IOPS. In this scenario, which Amazon EBS volume type can you use that will meet the performance requirements of this new online portal?
IOPS one, yeah, that one.
Solutions architect needs to deploy a mobile application that can collect votes for a popular singing competition. Millions of users are. I already know this answer.
Yeah, if you have that, just do that for speed. If you already know, just do it.
Yeah, company plans to set up a cloud infrastructure in AWS. In the planning, it was discussed that you need to deploy 2 EC2 instances that should continuously run for 3 years. The CPU utilization of these 2 instances is also expected to be stable and predictable, which is the what's reserved.
Yeah.
Stable and predictable. A major TV network has a web application running on 8 Amazon T3 EC2 instances. Number of requests that the application processes are consistent and do not experience spikes. To ensure that the 8 instances are running at all times, the solutions architect should create an ASG and distribute the load evenly between all instances. Which of the following can satisfy the given requirements. I think it's this one. Deploy 4 instances with auto scaling in one availability zone and 4 in another availability zone in the same region
Yeah.
behind an elastic load balancer.
Yeah.
Company has established a dedicated network connection from its on-premises data center to AWS Cloud using Direct Connect. The core network services such as DNS service and Active Directory services are all hosted on premises. The company has new AWS accounts that will also require consistent and dedicated access to those network services. Which of the following can satisfy this requirement with the least amount of operational overhead and in a cost-effective manner? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the one I would pick.
All right. A company is setting up a cloud architecture for an international money transfer service to be deployed in AWS, which will have thousands of users around the globe. The service should be able to handle 24/7 to avoid any business disruption and should be resilient enough to handle the outage of the entire region. To meet this requirement, the solutions architect has deployed their AWS resources to multiple AWS regions. It needs to use Route 53 and configure it to set all of the resources to be available at all the time as much as possible. When a resource becomes unavailable, Route 53 should detect that it's unhealthy and stop including it when responding to queries. Which of the following is the most fault-tolerant routing configuration that solutions architect should use?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. In Amazon EC2, you can manage your instances from the moment you launch them up to their termination. You can flexibly control your computing costs by changing the EC2. Which of the following statements is true regarding EC2 billing? You will be billed when your on-demand instance is preparing to hibernate with a stopping state. You will not be billed. You will be billed when the spot instance is preparing to stop the stopping state. You will be billed when your reserve instance is in terminated state. Yeah, well, it's probably true. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not exactly certain. Not,
Uh,
not sure about this one.
this is weirdly worded. Weirdly worded.
Yeah, it is. I need to flag this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so manufacturing company has EC2 instances running in the AWS. The EC2 instances configured with auto scaling. There are a lot of requests being lost because of too much load on the servers. The auto scaling is launching new EC2 instances to take the load accordingly. Yet there are still some requests that are being lost. Which of the following is the most suitable solution you should implement to avoid losing recently submitted requests? Mm,
I think it's the SQS one and decouple. First one, A.
A company hosted web application in Linux Amazon EC2 instances in this public subnet that uses a default NACL, NACL. The instance uses a default security group, has an elastic IP address. The NACL has been configured to block all traffic to the instance. The solutions architect must allow incoming traffic on port 443 to access the application from any source. Which combination of steps will accomplish this requirement? Select 2. So in the NACL, update the rule to allow both inbound and outbound from any to any. Uh, geez.
Yeah. So knuckle, you have to do both. So number one is correct, and number two is not correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, that last one is not correct. And on that one, yeah, that one. Because, yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, I get
matter.
it. I get it. Um, it made sense to me actually when that's why I clicked
Okay.
it. A company is hosting an application of EC2 instances that regular pushes and fetches data in Amazon S3. Due to a change in compliance, the instances need to be moved on a private subnet. Along with this change, the company wants to lower the data transfer costs by configuring its AWS resources. How can this be accomplished in the most cost-effective manner?
Oh, that's the endpoint one. S3 endpoint.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This
No,
this one, right?
interface endpoint or
Oh
gateway
no, it's
endpoint.
gateway. It would be gateway. I
Yeah.
My brain saw gateway here for some reason.
Yeah.
A solutions architect is formulating a strategy for a startup that needs to transfer 50 terabytes of on-premises data to Amazon S3. The startup has a slow network transfer speed between its data center and AWS, which causes a bottleneck for data migration. Which of the following should the solutions architect implement? So I started that early, so that's fine. Request an import job to Amazon S3 using a Snowball device in the AWS console. 50 terabytes, maybe. Deploy AWS Migration Hub Discovery agents in the on-premises data center. No. Enable Amazon S3 transfer acceleration on the target S3 bucket. No. Integrate storage gateway, file gateway. Well, the startup has a slow network transfer speed, so it has to be a Snowball answer.
Yeah.
It just has to be. So a travel company has a suite of applications in an autoscaler group on an on-demand instances behind an application load balancer that handles traffic from those websites and many others. To improve security and lessen the overall cost, you are instructed to secure the system by allowing multiple domains to serve SSL traffic without the need to re-authenticate and reprovision your certificate every time you add a new domain. This migration from HTTP to HTTPS will help improve their SEO and Google search ranking. Which of the following is the most cost-effective requirement to meet the above requirement? I'm going to say a CloudFront web distribution and configure it to serve the requests and dedicated IP addresses
The
in
third
order to
one.
associate your alternate domain names dedicated.
The third one. Upload all SSL certificates of domains to the application load balancer and then bind the certificate to your listener. Because I've actually done this. I've done
Oh, okay.
certificates on
Okay.
application.
All right. A large insurance company has an AWS account that contains three VPCs, Dev, Watt, and Prod. In the same region, Watt is peered to both Prod and Dev, and using a VPC peering connection. All VPCs have non-overlapping CIDR blocks. The companies want to push minor code releases from Dev to Prod to speed up time to market. Which of the following can help accomplish this? Uh, I know you have to create a new VPC peering connection. Just have to.
Okay.
It's just the way life is. Production MySQL database is hosted on an Amazon RDS is running out of disk storage. The management has consulted its solutions architect to increase the disk space without impacting database performance. How can the solutions architect satisfy the requirement with the least operational overhead?
Yeah, I know this one from memory,
Yeah,
and it's
tell
the
me what it is.
My someone. Huh?
Is this one, the MyISAM?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I just know that's correct.
Fine. A solutions architect, I hit you with the hard find. A solutions architect is unable to connect to the newly deployed EC2 instance via SSH using a home computer. However, the architect was able to successfully access other existing instances of the VPC without any issues. Which of the following should the architect check and possibly correct to restore
SSH
connectivity?
port 22. Da, 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 da. Yeah, import. It's the security group one because it doesn't say anything
Because it's a
about NACL.
shh, right? Shh. There you go.
Yeah, no, no, it's not that one. Go back.
What?
Number
That's what you
four.
said.
No, it's the four. Network access
Oh, yeah,
control
yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry.
security group. Yeah.
I got mixed up. I should have read it. A company it currently has an augmented reality mobile game that has a serverless backend. It is using DynamoDB, which was launched using the CLI to store user data information gathered from the players and a Lambda function to pull the data from DynamoDB. The game is being used by millions of users each day to read and store data. How would you design the application to improve its overall performance and make it scalable while keeping costs low?
Mm. They had to throw the keep it cost low in there, you bastard.
Oh, yeah, you want to use this one. Yeah, you definitely want to do that. Do that, that, and that. Use
Okay.
SSO incognito to authenticate users and have them directly access DynamoDB using single sign-on. Manually set the provision read and write capacity to a higher read and write.
Yeah.
And configure CloudFront with DynamoDB as origin cache frequently access on the client device using Elasticache. Okay, ship. An online stocks trading application stores financial data in an S3 bucket, has a life cycle policy that moves older data to Glacier every month. There's strict compliance when a surprise audit happens. You should be able to retrieve data in under 15 minutes under all circumstances. Your manager has instructed you to ensure the retrieval capacity is available when you need it and should handle up to 150 megabytes per second of retrieval throughput, which of the following should you do to meet the above requirements? So that is you use expedited retrieval
Yeah.
and
I think it's Glacier Select, I
yeah, I
think is
think
the
so
thing.
too. I think that's the answer too. That's what I was leaning towards. A solutions architect working for a startup is designing a high performance computing application which is publicly accessible for their customers. The startup founders want to mitigate DDoS attacks on their application. Which of the following options are not suitable to be implemented in this
Oh,
scenario?
see, the not
Select
what I
two.
got.
Well, that's suitable. Um,
The use the CloudFront is also suitable,
that's fair.
and also using the application load balancer to prevent direct internet traffic to RDS.
Mm.
Also, I think makes sense.
Elastic Fabric adapt to each instance to increase the network bandwidth.
No, I don't think that works that way. I might be wrong. I might. No, I'm not. I'll let you go with what you want.
They're trying to mitigate denial of service, right? So is an
Yeah.
elastic fabric adapter to increase network bandwidth going to help with that?
These are the ones that are not. Yes, that's correct. If
No.
these are the ones that
Is
not,
the
then it's
use
correct.
dedicated EC2 instances to ensure that each EC2 instance has the max? It just those two things
Doesn't.
have nothing to do with the with
Yeah,
DDoS.
correct. Yeah, correct.
That's all I was thinking. A company has an existing VPC which is quite unutilized over the past few months. The business manager instructed the solutions architect to integrate the company's on-premise data center in its VPC. The architect explained the list of tasks that he'll be doing and discussed the VPN connection. The business manager is not tech savvy, but he's interested to know what a VPN is and its benefits. What is one of the major advantages of having a VPN in AWS? I'm loving it.
Yeah,
It allows you to
yeah,
connect your AWS cloud resource to your on-premises data center using secure and private sessions with IP IPsec tunnels. You agree? You said yep.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. Uh, a solutions architect is working for a financial company. The manager wants to have the ability to automatically transfer obsolete data from their S3 bucket to a low-cost storage system in AWS. What is the best solution that the architect can provide to them?
Life cycle policies. Number two.
Number
Number
dos.
B. Number B.
Okay. Solution number B. Why? A solutions architect is designing a highly available environment for an application She plans to host the application of EC2 instances with an ASG. One of the conditions requires data stored in root EBS volumes to be preserved if an instance terminates. What should be done to satisfy the requirement? Set the yeah, it's this one. It's like taking your USB key
Oh
out.
yeah, yeah. Correct.
Right.
Yes, correct. You can tell you a story later about
All
that.
right. The media company that you're working for has a video transcoding application running EC2. Each EC2 instance pulls a queue to find out which video should be transcoded, and then runs the transcoding process. If the process is interrupted, the video blah 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 blah. It spot instances.
Got it. If you want to just keep doing that for the last 10, that's fine too.
Well, a
Blah,
company
blah, blah.
is deploying a Microsoft SharePoint server using CloudFormation. The solutions architect needs to install and configure the architecture that is composed of Microsoft AD controllers, domain controllers, Microsoft SQL Server 2012, multiple EC2 instances to host the SharePoint server, and many other dependencies. The architect needs to ensure that the required components are properly running before the stack creation proceeds. Which of the following should be done to meet this requirement? Update policy, CFN, helper script, signal helper. Any idea?
I gave you the wrong answer last time, which was depends on, which is the wrong answer, and it was creation policy.
Well, there you go. I'm going to clear that started. A company is using multiple AWS accounts that are consolidated using AWS organizations. They want to copy several S3 objects to another S3 bucket that belong to a different AWS region, which they also own. The solution architect was instructed to set up the necessary permissions for this task and to ensure that the destination account owns the copied objects and not the account it was sent from. How can the architect accomplish this requirement? Requester pays feature in the bucket, the fee would be waived or consolidate. Well, what? What?
Requester pay. They want you to pay. They want somebody else to pay. Isn't that what it says?
Yeah.
What's the question again? Two different account.
They want the instructor to set up necessary permissions for this task and ensure that the destination account owns the copied objects and not the account it was set from. Yeah, you're
Oh,
probably right.
no. Requester pay just means they pay for the transfer.
Cross account
Cross
permissions?
account, yes, cross account permissions.
Yeah. Okay. Tech startup is launching an on-demand food delivery platform using an Amazon ECS cluster with an AWS Fargate serverless computer engine and Amazon Aurora. It is expected that the database read queries will significantly increase in coming weeks ahead. A solutions architect recently launched two read replicas to the database cluster to improve the platform scalability. Which of the following is the most suitable configuration that the architect should implement to load balance all of the incoming read requests equally to the two read replica? Oh,
No
what's this? Is
idea. I
that a
think
new one?
that's a trick.
That a new one?
I think
I don't. I,
I've
I,
never
I don't.
I've never seen that before. Parallel query.
Let's do it that one.
For
Let's do
for
that
some
one.
reason, I think it's the endpoint, but I have no idea. It's 100% a guess. Yeah. Anyway.
Company, since we're guessing anyway, a company plans to use a durable storage service to store on-premises database backups to the AWS cloud to move the backup data. They need to use a service that can store and retrieve objects through standard file storage protocols for quick recovery. Which of the following options will meet this requirement? Use the storage gateway volume to store blah blah blah.
Storage
API
gateway
action. What?
volume.
Eh?
The storage. Wait. Oh, wait. No, it's the last one. Number 4. Storage gateway, file gateway.
Yeah, on-premises backups to
Yeah.
the cloud. Gotcha. A company needs to launch an Amazon EC2 instance with persistent block storage to host its application. The stored data must be encrypted at rest. Which of the following is the most suitable storage option in this scenario? Well, persistent block storage with encryption. Uh, so it could have server side or it can't. No, I think it's this.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think it might be either one of those. It's 2 or 4, but you flip a coin.
Yeah,
So
fair. A company has a web application that is relying entirely on slower disk-based databases, causing it to perform slowly. To improve its performance, the solutions architect integrated an in-memory data store to the web application using Elasticache.
that's the-
Improve? How does
yeah,
Elasticache work? It caches database query results. Shut up.
that,
You are automatically the creation of You're automating the creation of EC2 instances in your VPC. Hence, you wrote a Python script to trigger the Amazon EC2 API to request 50 EC2 instances in a single availability zone. However, you notice that after 20 successful requests, subsequent requests failed. What could be a reason, and how could you resolve it? Hang on, I gotta pause for my
that one.
Google. Okay, there we go.
That is the you only get 20 of a certain type. You have to ask for more. By default, you
Oh,
only
it's
get
not per
all.
region, it's per availability zone. Oh no, it's not that. Nope.
That's that.
Mm.
It's per region.
Oh, is it
By
per region?
default, AWS allows provision maximum of 20 instances. Oh no, it's 20 instances per type. It's not 20 instances. Period.
Well,
Wait,
it says. I'm just gonna
no, it's
pause
that one.
this.
It's B. It's B. B.
Let's be okay. Fine. Right. An application needs to retrieve a subset of data from a large CSV file stored in Amazon S3 bucket by using simple SQL expressions. The queries are made within Amazon S3 and must only return the needed data. Which of the following actions should be taken? Perform an S3 select operation based on the bucket name. Perform S3 select operation based on the bucket's names and objects metadata. Perform an S3 select operation based on the object's name.
I think
And
this is
obviously,
B too.
eh,
I think this is B too.
under the B2. Clear, start. A company is storing its financial reports and regulatory documents in an Amazon S3 bucket to comply with the IT audit. They task the SA to track all new objects added to the bucket, as well as the removed items. It should also track whether a versioned object is permanently deleted. The architect must configure Amazon S3 to publish notifications for these events to a queue for post-processing and to an Amazon SNS topic that will notify the operations team. Which of the following is the most suitable
So MQ, you can take the
solution?
MQs out. MQs is the message queue, so you can take the MQs out. So
Mm-hmm.
it's SQS, and then object created, object removed, delete marker. I think it's second one. I thought it was the fourth one, but I think I picked the fourth one before, and it turned out to be the second one.
Okay, so um,
That's the
okay,
first pass.
based on these, based on the experiences of trying to answer these in a minute.
Hmm.
Oops. Did I move that up? I must have done that by accident. Yeah, I did. Oops. It must have been weird. That's fine. There we go. Um, so, uh, would you change the timer to 90 seconds?
90 seconds is a minute and a half.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
because that,
to simulate the time constraint. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you mean next time?
yeah,
Like,
like if you're doing studying for it, like would you give yourself 90 seconds per question for this practice exam?
well, a minute might be enough if you're just reading it, but not
If
reading
I
it
don't
out
have to say
loud.
it out loud, yeah, that's true. Okay, do you want to go through the flag questions?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I got
okay.
time. I can stick around as long as you want tonight.
Okay,
Mm,
so but I'm
yeah,
not going to go through the ones we already answered, just these ones.
yeah, yeah, just the flag ones, 100.
Without the timer going. A
Yeah.
fintech startup deployed an application on an Amazon EC2 instance. With the instance store, the server is only accessed from 8 till 6 and can be stopped from 6 p.m. till 8 a.m. for cost efficiency and using Lambda with the script that automates this based on tags. Which of the following will occur when the EC2 instance is stopped and started? So I don't think this will happen because that wouldn't be very good for a company. right?
No, that
It's a
uh,
financial tech company.
yeah, but that's actually what happens. That is what happens. So you have to be aware of it. Your instant store is not your EBS volume store. Your instant store is like your temp directory on your
Oh, right. Okay.
right.
The Elastic IP address. Well,
If
if
you
you have
have an
an
elastic IP
so,
address, that's not going to change. It sticks. Your elastic IP address sticks. That's the whole point of it, right?
will the ENI be detached?
I don't think so.
So
And also
it's
won't be any changes. So I
well,
think that those are the two.
yeah, it definitely can't be that because there's two
Oh,
answers.
correct.
Okay, so all right. So that was question one. I'll say go save and next. So we are flagged on question two, which we're already on. Okay, so this one says the global news company, fleet of instances, currently in a VPC with an internet gateway
Yeah,
attached. All of
but
the instances can be accessed from the internet. The architect launches another subnet and deploys an instance in it. However, you're not able to access these two instances from the internet. What could be the possible reasons?
I
Oh,
think it's
right.
the one and five. That's what it is.
I absolutely agree. Okay, cool. So we'll go save and next, and then we'll look at four. Okay, a company needs to use Aurora as the RDS database engine if their web application is architect has been instructed to implement a 90-day backup retention policy. Which of the following can satisfy the requirement?
I don't think S3 gets stored or I don't think RDS backups get stored in S3, not in a way that you can get anyway. So I think it's like the first one or the third one. I actually think it's the first one for some reason.
Well,
Because it doesn't say anything about S3, and I don't think RDS gets backed up to S3. Like you can't download a MySQL database from S3 or an Aurora database from S3. I
the
don't
o-
think it's possible.
the only thing that's making me balk at this is that usually when these questions have it, there's a service. When it's capitalized like this, that means it's a service that AWS offers. And this is not
I think that's
capitalized, but this is.
yeah. I think the automated backup is just a service in RDS. I think, but I'm pretty sure neither one of the so it's either the first one or the last one.
The first one or the third one, the
First
first
one
one
or
or the
the third
last
one.
one. Okay.
First one and the third one.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
So, but what do you feel? I'm gonna go with you on
I'd go with
this.
this one.
Okay.
I'd pick this one.
All right.
If I had my money on the table, I'd go with that one.
Okay. So, company has clients around the globe, several S3 buckets. They currently want to deliver specific content. The cloud front only distribution of files.
I think this is correct. I
Yeah,
think we had this.
I just wanted to look at it again. I was pretty sure I had it. So I'm on 12, but I want to go back to 11. Oh, that's weird. Do I have to, how come I didn't have to unflag anything else? I selected two. Okay, whatever. Was I unflagging them and it just didn't notice? I am super confused.
I don't
Whatever.
know.
I do not care.
21.
I am but an egg.
And
A media
yeah,
company recently launched their newly created web application. Many users tried to visit the website, but they are receiving 503 unavailable. La 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 to gain
I
insight
think
from the
this is
data.
right. I think you're right on this one.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So that was 17. See,
But I think so. Now we're on 20.
oh
You
no,
gotta you should unflag them when we're yeah. That's
so
the
I
thing.
probably was just doing it and I just didn't remember. A
Yeah,
company
yeah.
is generating confidential data that is saved on their on-premises data center as a backup solution. The company wants to upload their data to an Amazon S3 bucket in compliance with internal security mandate. The encryption of the data must be done before sending it to S3. The company must spend time managing and rotating the encryption keys, as well as controlling who can access the keys. Which of the following methods can? Well, you don't want to do that.
No,
You don't want to do that.
no.
Amazon S3 manage. You don't want to do that. So you want to do that because they want to be super secure.
Okay.
Super.
Just save it though. Do you have to save it?
Oh, yeah, go save it next. I just have to unflag it. And I just
Yeah.
kind of, like I want to go through and make sure it's answered too. If I were
Yeah.
doing the real exam, see the thing is like even though like you arrived 20 minutes into the countdown,
Yeah.
look at all the time we have left to go
Yeah. Yeah.
through the few that we flagged, right? So,
Yeah. That.
but
Yeah.
so what you do with the first pass method is you do what I did, and you practice like this. So whatever time you choose, like you'll say I give myself 90 seconds, I have that much. I'll be in the habit, and if I'm actually practicing on my own and I'm not making a recording to try and sound a little bit exciting at least,
Yeah.
I will wait for the timer because of my tendency and your tendency probably too to just jump on the answer. And while I'm waiting and I'm staring at the question before I go on to the next question, sometimes
Yeah.
I go, "Oh, I see the not or the,
Yeah. Yeah. The not. Yeah.
yeah." But and it takes that second guessing yourself away,
What
right?
I did, I didn't do the first pass method, but what I figured out after a while, a long time actually, was divided 65 or by the amount of time that you have. So you have per minute for that exact amount of time.
Mm.
I think it's 3 minutes or something,
Yep.
2.5 per question, something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's the exact
recording.
idea. But the you doing it this way, like the first pass method is what you're talking about. You don't have to use an interval timer. This was just recommended to me in a course I took
Yeah, that's a good
for
idea.
that CTS course, and it's awesome. And
Yeah, that's good.
generally, if you do this method and you come back to the ones that you flagged for review, you've already passed by the time you review it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So now you're just doing the bonus points
yeah, yeah,
at this point where we are in this.
yeah.
If like theoretically, I'm not claiming we passed or failed this, but
Oh, pretty sure we passed.
okay, in Amazon EC2, you can manage your instances from the moment you launch them to termination. You can flexibly control your computing. This was the one with the weird wording.
Yeah,
By changing these two instance state, which of the following statements is true regarding the EC2 billing?
I think your on-demand instances is preparing to hibernate with the stopping state. I think you do get billed when it's stopping.
So
You don't.
for this one, so and then that was the thing is like if you have a reserved instance and you terminate it before it's
Yeah, I'm not sure.
up, that's the thing is just like I'm not sure in these ones,
I
like
think you just.
you will
I
not
think
be
you just.
billed for any instance usage while an instance is not in the
Yeah,
running state.
go to.
That's actually true. That one's true.
Yeah, and
Because
then
you
that
think
one's
about it,
not.
that was the wording. You will not be billed for any instance usage while an instance is not in. If your instance is stopped, you're not billed for it.
Correct.
Um, and then you will be billed when your spot instance is preparing to stop with the stopping state. Actually, you know what? I think it's probably this one.
Okay. I'm
But
not saying anything. I failed my first time, so I'm not saying nothing.
well, this isn't the final test. This is just a practice exam. Okay.
Just the last.
All right. So you ready?
Yeah,
I'm gonna push the button.
I hit it.
Final answer.
Yeah, I hit it.
Oh,
It's
oh,
72.
oh, we
It's
answered.
70. It's 72%. Actually, probably 80.
Ooh. Oh, that's pretty good. I thought. Okay.
75. All right.
Split the
I
difference.
said 72 and 80. We split the difference ish.
Okay. So,
75.38.
well, it's
The
a pass.
0.38.
Um, so let's look at what we answered incorrectly since there's less of them.
Yeah.
Yep. That's one I was leaning towards because of these two words.
Okay. See, like I said, I failed my first time.
So All right. So, but that was it, right? So
Okay, me, that's my go-to excuse now.
there's these two words, central. It's like my driving test. AWS backup, centralized backup service, cost effective backup. La, 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 la. Yeah, we know it's a service. Shut up.
That's good. I never noticed that. I never noticed that. I don't know if that's on the real test. Oh, you were right on this,
Yeah,
and
I
I was
thought it
wrong.
was. I thought it was.
As I said, I failed the first time.
You the just wait. Why are you bothering me? So oh, that's probably not popping up there. Maybe.
I see it.
Oh,
I see
okay.
it.
Well, you can see it on the return feed. Oh, so yeah.
Fine.
Well, you see the OBS. Well, no, actually, well, that doesn't matter. So,
Fine.
the reason why I didn't think this was Windows and I thought it was Storage Gateway was because I've noticed on the Tutorials Dojo that whenever there is Windows, let me just, can I move it? Nope.
So you're just gonna have
I
to
don't know why
keep.
it's
We're
doing
almost
that. But yeah, it's fine. So usually when there's Windows in the answer, it's in the question.
done.
And
Yeah.
this one doesn't have any
Oh
mention
yeah.
of Windows or Microsoft or Active Directory or blah 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 blah, blah whatever. Okay, so then oh, it is EMR.
Use the
Okay,
MR. Okay.
Elastic Map Reduce. That's what I thought it was. Well,
Okay.
it says log
Hadoop.
analysis can be automatically provided by Amazon EMR, which is more economical than building a custom-built log analysis application and hosting it in EC2.
Right.
That's why it provides a managed Hadoop framework. It is big data. That's what that means. But
Yeah.
and it's well, it
I've seen the
includes
Hadoop.
includes
Should look at
ETL.
Hadoop one day.
Yeah, I kind of
Should
knew
look at
that. I knew that one too, but I just couldn't remember
we should look at EMR one day too. ASM ASMR ASEMR.
who is talking to me. That was weird. Bixby. Okay, I always I oh,
Yeah, me too.
oh.
I
It's
probably
always like I know it's cookies.
if you rewind the tape, I probably said
It's
I
it's,
always get this wrong too.
it's CloudFront signed URLs. Whatever. I'll have to. Yeah, I know. Get off my back.
Yeah. This one, oh, it is NACL. I was wrong on this one. Oh no, you pressed NACL and it was a security group. I don't know what happened
Oh,
here,
that's
and it's
weird.
on the third too.
I think that's a different. No, that's so weird.
I think you just
Because
pressed
I
the
changed
wrong
I
one
changed
or
it.
saved. Yeah, you pressed the wrong one or saved the
I
wrong
zigged
one.
when
Anyway.
it's recorded. I zigged when I should have zagged, obviously, because I meant to click the other one. Cloud.
Yeah.
So this was a direct connect
Okay.
on-premises data center. Yeah, but I lean towards Cloud Hub. Whenever I see on-premises, it's always
Yeah.
direct connect. That was foolish. Okay, fine.
It's a good
Uh,
thing to know. That's a good thing to remember.
and then check this out. Okay, you will be billed when your on-demand instance is preparing to hibernate with a stopping state.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, all right. Um, I said
I like that little
the
diagram. I like the
reserved
diagram.
instance makes sense.
With that diagram is a good diagram. If you do diagrams, start doing diagrams. Use
Hmm.
make people like that.
Noise. Okay,
Oh, it
so
was that
it
one.
was a knuckle, but so it was these ports. Interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, the
ephemeral
ephemeral
ports.
ports. Oh,
Ephemeral
I
ports.
forgot about
They need
that.
to come
Ephemeral
back.
ports.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Whoops.
they're so damn ephemeral. Oh, I was wrong about this one. I was sure about this one too. I was wrong.
Yeah, I would have gone with that one as well.
Okay. So you would have got to like a
Wow.
90%.
Holy
Oh, we
company.
missed that one.
Huh.
We were way off. Not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah, we were just playing a different sport on that question. I don't know what happened. It is enabled. Didn't
The
that's
DAX.
see the thing about it was it was the keeping costs low
Yeah,
that got me here.
probably
So I'm
probably
just
tells you.
like, so I'm going frequently asked data turning on the caching, frequently asked data. Oh, okay. Well, API using caching,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
DynamoDB global replication sounds expensive,
yeah.
as does DynamoDB accelerator. So the answer to this question related to the AR is a lot of DynamoDB global replication. Although that says DynamoDB, that says DynamoDB. That they all have DynamoDB in it, so that's not the key. But
And
anyway, DAX and global, fine,
tax global.
whatever. Oh yeah, okay. I knew that.
Capacity.
I actually knew that, but I forgot. I haven't done these practice questions in a while. You need to purchase provisioned retrieval capacity in order to use expedited retrieval.
You buy it, yeah.
Yep, and then reader endpoint. I think you're actually leaning towards that
I
on
was
this one.
leaning towards the last one, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. And then oh yeah, so we were between 2 and 4. We were 50-50 coin flip on this one.
50-50.
So
Yeah.
It was KMS.
I don't feel so bad now. I got a couple.
Yep. You're automating the creation of EC2 instances in your
This one,
VPC, hence you wrote a Python script. Oh, there is a vCPU based on demand instance limit per region, which is why the subsequent requests. Yeah, and that's true. Like what you said about the limit of 20,
yeah,
it's true. But you have to submit the limit increase form to AWS.
yeah. I
And then
forgot about
once it's approved, you have to get it. I knew that. I should have if I had read that,
it's
I
hard
would
to read
I would have
at
got
the
that.
end. At the end of
Yeah.
65 questions,
Well,
losing it.
yeah. Well, we're going 60 seconds per question too, while I'm reading it out loud. It's tough.
Uh,
An application
yeah.
needs to retrieve a sub.
So don't do the metadata. Don't use the metadata. Don't let the metadata get you down here because it's caught me a couple of times now. Just the
Okay.
key and the thing.
Object created deleted.
Oh,
SNS and SQS add an S3 event notification configuration on the bucket
yeah,
to publish. S3
yeah.
object created and S3 object removed.
And if you play,
Delete. So it's not a delete marker, it's a delete. That's the
and
difference.
if you play back the tape, what I said exactly was that I said it wrong last time, so it's the other one.
Yeah.
But I said it wrong last time, and I reversed my wrongness.
All right.
It is
Well,
deleted.
I
How
think
many, how many questions was that? Before we wrap up.
how many questions that we
How
got?
many questions were wrong? Yeah.
How many questions were wrong?
Out of
Well, we got 75%. Percent. Hold on. So it was 49 of 65. So we got 16 questions wrong and 49 right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. And the good thing about it, though, like if you
You
look
would
at
have.
this,
You
when it
probably would have got. Wait. You probably
go
would
ahead,
have got 4 more questions right.
maybe,
Uh,
but
without me.
when I started it, like when I started doing this test, these numbers were nowhere near these numbers. So that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
progress,
remember
and
they
it
were all. Some of them were at 50%
yeah,
or less.
or
Some were
less.
at
It was
30.
like 40, 35, like, and now it's balancing out. So it means
That's good.
the education is working and the studying is working. So that's cool. I'll probably be ready to write this test within the next month or two. Um,
If you cram like crazy, you could probably do it pretty quick, but there's no point in that.
oh,
There's no employer
oh,
waiting for you to do it or anything.
I probably won't.
And
I probably like even if I do, and I am gonna do that. I'm gonna be like doing practice tests every day for the next few weeks and cramming anyway. But then after cramming for a few weeks,
yeah, yeah, the macrocram.
yeah, like I wanna because I don't like taking tests twice. So
Once
um,
you get to 90%, and this is my big thing for John Bonzo.
oh yeah,
John Bonzo, if you get 90% on this test, uh,
ooh,
you will pass the real one.
oh absolutely, I'm sure.
100%.
I'm sure. Okay,
You've
well,
also
that's
got
all the Cloud Brothers have for this week. Thanks for tuning in. We forgot to say like and subscribe every time, but you should do
late.
it.
I'm
Like
a
and
jerk.
subscribe for more quality content like this. And it's okay. Both Cloud Brothers may be here at the beginning next week, or we may do the same thing we did today. Jump cut. Sayonara. Goodbye.